welcome everyone and connected here for the first Italian workshop on shells and spatial structures, IWSS2020. I can say that I'm really excited about two great first times, in my view. The first time that I'm a main co-organizer of an event like this, and the second first time is that it's the first time that I organizing an event online. And so, okay. First of all, I really need to thank my friends and main co-organizers of this event, Amedeo Manuel Bertetto from Politecnico di Torino, Andrea Micheletti from University of Rome Tor Vergata, and Francesco Marmo from University Federico II of Naples, for sharing with me, but I can say all together, this maybe small, but for us, very significant adventure. And the starting point of this idea of organizing the IWSS goes back maybe 2 years ago, when we some of us firstly met during the IASS conference, the conference of the International Association of Shell and Spatial Structures in Boston. And then last year again in Barcelona, and where we discovered that we have great common interest for shells, spatial structures, and also we discovered that we are working on both topics that are of interest for engineering and architecture, for modeling and simulation, for the history and the design of beautiful and complex structures, like the one that we will discuss during these workshops. The second great thanks goes to all the keynote speakers that kindly accept our invitation. And we really hope that everyone in this workshop now will enjoy the talk. And I put here on the right side of the screen, you don't need to try to read what is there, but this is something that summarizes all the contribution that we will have. So with this, I want to thank all the authors that have been time and have been able to accept our invitation to participate in this workshop, and mostly in this particular moment where it seems that we are much more busy than in other periods, in other normal periods, and it seems that we are immersed in a strange new life forced by this COVID outbreak. But what we are trying to do here, also to transform this initial crisis, and is hopefully a new opportunity. And clearly, this workshop is inspired to the International Association for Shell and Spatial Structures themes, but also because in Italy, there's a strong history about strength of material, solid mechanics, and structural mechanics. We also are very near to these teams, and in fact we received for this workshop, and we are very grateful also to these two associations, two important endorsements for the ISS and for the Cisco, that is the Italian Society of Solid and Structural Mechanics. And we will host tomorrow two important communications from them, from Professor Carlos Lazaro, Vice President of the ISS, and Professor Luciano Rosati, Vice President of the Cisco. So with this, I think that now you can relax, try to enjoy the workshop, and maybe fitting the right outfit, dressing the right outfit for an online conference. And last but not least, remember that the workshop will not finish with the workshop because we want to try to make a final toast online, more informal way where we can share drink and ideas and feedbacks and everything. So now I leave the screen to my colleague Amedeo Manuello, and please, Amedeo.
Well, thank you so much, Stefano, for introducing the birth of our ideas and our goals so clearly. Like the best adventure stories that normally start with one upon a time in a dark period, also in our case, the way of IWSS began in a very difficult moment, I think. A period of crisis for our country and for the whole world itself. The COVID pandemic disease, of course. Personally, I still remember the first online connection during the early lockdown phase. It was not clear how long the silence around us will be lasted. At that day, it seemed inevitable to cancel completely the meetings. Unexpectedly, we decided to face the situation, and we thought that the best way to make ourselves useful in our society was to continue to do our duty in the best way. We have rethought the entire workshop through an online tool, interpreting the workshop by this new idea. We tried to bear the many negative sides of the situation through the possibility of developing the only true positive condition, the only one, the possibility to increase the inclusiveness. For this reason, our meetings have been designed to encourage as much as possible the connection between the participant via the Zoom platform and the entire workshop. It's shared live via YouTube streaming. This leads us to move the workshop to the not only Italian workshop on shell and spatial structure, and is giving the possibility to reach a big number of interested people. In this slide, I decided to collect some images to tell you the location where the workshop was designed originally. This location was also chosen to immerse the participant in a very particular architectural context. The unique combination of the 17th century architecture of the Valentino Castle and the structures of Pierluigi Nervi and Riccardo Morandi, of course, built starting from 1950. Please, Stefano, if you can start the video. Okay. This kind of architecture are the natural environment for IWSS. In this video, we show you the seat of the Valentino Castle. The castle today is the home to the Faculty of Architecture of the city. The building was included in the list of UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1997. Just ahead a short distance, you can see the Riccardo Morandi's pavilion. Pavilion 5 was built in an underground hall and consists of a vault without intermediate support made of thin pre-stressed concrete structures. Finally, we come to the main structure of center of Torino Esposizioni built in the 50s by Pierluigi Nervi and showing one of the most important architecture in the city. This structure established by the wonderful pavilion B and C are the subject of a specific virtual tour that you can find on the website and that I invite you to watch. Perfect. Before giving the floor to my colleague and friend, I would like to show you an additional feature of the workshop, starting from the assumption that meetings very often represent an actual opportunity to enrich proper work and research. We thought to receive some of the works through the publication of a special issue devoted to the themes discussed in our sessions. In the journal Current Layer Structures, the publication of these works will be obviously free of charge. In this regard, I would like to thank the editor-in-chief, Professor Francesco Tornabene, and the publisher of the journal for their great willingness to publish the works of the workshop. The time is right now to throw the ball to my colleague and friend, Francesco Marmo.
Good morning, everyone, and I wish to welcome every one of you within the IWSS 2020. So let me talk about the numbers of the IWSS. In January, we were planning this workshop without any clue on what would happen in the next months. We were imagining a small workshop with less than 20 contributions and just 4 invited keynote lecturers. The lockdown forced us to move the workshop online, and this gave us the opportunity to enlarge the size of the event. With our great surprise, the number of contributions has more than doubled with respect to our expectations. Also, it has been much easier for us to invite prominent personalities involved in the design of shell and spatial structures from all over the world. We have authors from almost every continent. Of course, we miss Africa and Antarctica. Perhaps we have no chance with Antarctica, but we can certainly work harder to include Africa in the next future. We also had the idea of inviting authors to contribute both with abstract and additional preview material in the form of short papers, commented slides, or videos, in order to short the online session without limiting the amount of information they decide to share with the audience. This preview material is now collected in a specific page of our website. I invite all of you to take a look at these files. Next slide, thank you. We were also planning to set up a small exhibition within the Valentino Castle. Of course, all this exhibition has moved online, thus becoming a virtual exhibition. We have a specific page on the workshop website devoted to the virtual exhibition, together with the virtual tour already mentioned by Amedeo. In this exhibition, you can find an asset tensegrity structure, which is composed of multiple concentric layers of tensegrity elements. The beautiful pavilion composed of spiral timber elements. Actually, this is one of the prides of the Italian community that works on the themes of the shell and spatial structures, since a similar structure was awarded during the IWSS conference in Barcelona last year. In our virtual tour, you can also find a beautiful series of bamboo structures. Bamboo is the most carbon-absorbing plant in the world, and it represents a promising challenge for the future of shell and spatial structures. Of course, I will not tell anything more about the structure of our virtual exhibitions, since they can be presented in a much better way from the authors during the sessions of our workshop. Next slide. So the technical program, the entire program of the workshop includes many interesting lectures regarding the analysis, designs, and construction of shell and spatial structures. We set up 8 sessions of about 90 minutes each, 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. Each session will start with a keynote lecture and will continue with a variable number of regular talks. The only exception is the session on Friday evening, the last session, that will have a keynote lecture at the end. Breaks between sessions will be used to gather all lectures for the next section and to allow the chairman to verify that all speakers are ready to talk. So I invite all speakers to connect and talk to the chairman during these breaks. Okay, so the time is gone, my slide is over, and Andrea Micheletti has something to say more.
Thank you, Francesco. These are the times of our keynote lectures. I thank again all the person who accepted our invitation. On the left, you have today's lecturers, and on the right, tomorrow's ones. These are Central European Summertime Awards. Please take note of the times to not to miss them. So today, as you might know already, the first lecturer is Professor Massimo Majewski, and he will talk about upgrading the spoked wheel concept and other things maybe. This morning second session will start with Professor Maurizio Brocato's presentation about stereoplexy. Then in the afternoon, we will listen to Professor Sigrid Adriansen's talk about a different perspective on shells, and it's actually morning for her. And the last session for today, we start with Professor Nikos Lagaros talking about topology optimization-driven conceptual design of structures. These are all super interesting talks, like those we will have tomorrow. And tomorrow morning, we start with Professor Tullia Iori telling us the story of 3 engineers of the past and what history can teach us in times of emergency. The second morning session, we start with architect Mauricio Cardenas presenting his very nice projects with bamboo and what he can do with it, with this wonderful material. Then tomorrow's afternoon, we continue starting with Professor Giuseppe Marano, presenting the state-of-the-art and future challenges in evolutive algorithms for structural optimization. And at the end of last session of this workshop, we will have Professor Alberto Carpinteri, who will talk about funicularity in elastic domes, coupled effect of shape and thickness. We are grateful to have you all here, keynotes, lecturers, co-authors, and listeners. Thank you very much. So in the next slide, we recall some quick instruction for enjoy this online meeting. So first, of course, it's better if you choose a quiet environment, and you can ask to talk about, you can, by using the chat. So to open it, you just need to click here, and then you can type your request to speak, and the chairman will invite you to talk. And then please remember to mute your microphone if you are not talking, and unmute it if you are when you're going to talk, and you can use the button on the lower left corner of your screen. And of course, you need to share your screen when presenting using this big button in the middle of the bottom of the screen. Once you click it, you can select the top left icon to share your desktop, or select the, say, PowerPoint window to share it. So we can finally start with the presentations. I recall that the keynotes have 50 minutes plus 5 minutes of question and answers, and that regular speakers will have just 5 minutes plus 5 minutes for questions.